All right, Friday, April, what is it, 28th? 29th. Yeah, I decided not to go out tonight. It's not sustainable. Okay, so today we're going to go over the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Now, we all know this is a conspiracy fact. It is not a conspiracy theory. Okay? Globalists got together, not just once, but many times, and decided what the future was going to be like. So they conspired to run your life. They conspired to decide what your future is going to be like. You have no free will, you have no control over this. They want to make you dumb as hell. And we'll go over all of this real quick so you guys can see it for yourself. As you guys can see, this is the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Now, why is geopolitical science very, very, very important? Because it involves social engineering. Now, if you don't know what social engineering is basically deciding what the people are going to do in their lives, and they themselves don't even know it. They just go ahead and let the indoctrination propaganda think for them. So here we go. There's United Nations. They have 17 goals. They have 169. You know what? Let's go over the video first. They have a video somewhere down here. We'll go ahead and go over the video. You guys go ahead and check it out. It's up to you to decide on the video. Let's go. You know what? No. You guys seen that one, right? The Climate Act. There it is there, the eye. And you can see that they're using the eye with the globe inside of it. Like literally implying that that's what you should see. You should see the globe. They're telling you what to see, right? And this is all part of the 17 SDGs. Wow, that was horrible. That was just horrible. It was basically a big cartoon, and it was kind of brainwashing type of cartoon. You could literally use that. I mean, you could look that up in psychology on brainwashing and stuff. That's the type of material that you'll see that they'll explain. Here's another one, teaching the UN Sustainable Development Goals 5 years ago. Like I said, I tried explaining all of this before 5 years ago, and I really didn't get much into the YouTube because my notoriety was big enough on Facebook. I was already overwhelmed with the whole Facebook thing, and So I didn't come into YouTube. The reason why one of the main reasons why I'm into YouTube now is because yeah, Facebook has completely sucked me many times. I'm thinking about altogether just dumping it. It's turning into a big echo chamber, and I'm only holding on at this point to see what happens between the whole Twitter thing. Anyways, back to the topic. As we can see, there's this cartoon right here. It's a really long cartoon, real boring. But you can see it's people, planet, prosperity, peace, partnership. Totally some type of propaganda slogan. And you see the globe heads standing next to the globe. I mean, you could just see them right there. So let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, so we've seen the stupid video. It was really dumb and a waste of time. Alright, so just let's focus on the very first one. The no poverty. Here we have globe heads, right? A globe head family. There's no poverty and stuff, right? Okay, so now when they say no poverty, and again, let me back up. Geopolitical science is really important, and not just because of social engineering, but because of this type of crap. This is right here social engineering, what we're looking at. No poverty, zero hunger, and all of these goals are tied to the globe. Like the globe, its shape, its economic status, or its economic, its current economic affairs, like everything. Basically, everything right now that's going on is global this, global that. So just to point out that all of this is totally tied, absolutely 100% tied to that globe Earth model, which is shown in schools, which is pushed in indoctrination camps, and you could all see why this is so relevant to psychology and other sciences, including that lead to social engineering. And of course, on the top next to United Nations, you have what is obviously a flat Earth model. It's hilarious. Okay, so no poverty. Number one, no poverty. Okay, now poverty is totally a local phenomenon. In other words, poverty in Los Angeles is not poverty in other places like South America, Central America, parts of Africa. There's poverty in everywhere, but none of it's actually the same. As I was watching videos of the U.S., of the Russian sanctions, and I was looking for people that are out there shopping in Russia, and you could tell that they're not really suffering from the sanctions. It's not really affecting them as much as it's affecting America, and as it's affecting Ukrainians. So yeah. So this whole So when they say no poverty, what do they mean? What exactly do they mean about no poverty? If they mean no poverty, does that mean we're all gonna be rich? So there's not gonna be any poverty. So we could even define the word poverty. Poverty definition. The state of being extremely poor. Deprivation, impoverishment. Okay? Bankruptcy. There's that word bankruptcy. Alright? So what they're saying, there's not going to be any more bankruptcy. There's not going to be any more need. There's not going to be any more indigence. No, none of this. There's not going to be no more wants. Do you guys understand what that means? You have to add all these, put these similar and synonyms of in its place, and look at it in a different view. All right. So the opposite is wealth. The opposite the opposite of poverty is wealth. So just so you can stop and think about that. When they say that there's not going to be any more poverty, does that mean everyone's going to be rich? How is everyone going to be rich? That makes no sense at all. That is totally insane. There's no such thing as everyone being rich. Okay? Now again, there's other words. Need. You're only going to get what you need. All right? That's what they're saying. Hardship. All right? When they say they're going to remove hardship, they're going to remove need. They're going to remove bankruptcy. They're going to remove insolvency. Right? But the opposite is wealth. It's right there, wealth. So, what do they mean then? If for them to sit there and say they're gonna stop poverty, that's literally impossible. They're saying that that you're gonna own nothing and be happy about it, right? But the opposite of poverty is wealth. So if they're gonna stop poverty, then we should all be wealthy. But that is clearly not the case, because their own slogan is "You will own nothing and be happy." Okay, this will all add up as soon as we get over. By the time we get to the third goal, it'll all add up. What I'm trying to say: zero hunger. Now, we could define the word hunger. A feeling of discomfort or weakness caused by lack of food coupled with the desire to eat. Okay? Starvation, famine, malnutrition, malnourishment, inanition. Right? Hunger. Synonym. Emptiness, starvation. What would be the antonym? Synonyms for hunger. Antonyms. Fullness, glut, satisfaction. So when they're saying they're a need or desire for food, and then underneath there you see, as an example, no degree of hunger would induce me to eat octopus. So right there, that leads to imply that hunger is on the spectrum. If there's a degree to it, then there's like a spectrum to that degree. I mean, the degree is part of a spectrum, right? So, and again, like the word poverty, hunger does not mean the same thing in different localities. Hunger in Los Angeles, again, is not the same thing as hunger in a isolated town in El Salvador. All right, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as a hungry African. All right, not the same thing at all. So if they're gonna, so how would By them saying they're gonna stop hunger, are they gonna give us all food? Everyone's gonna get food. And by that, what type of food? Because here we have a problem in between cultures. Mexicans can eat beans all day long. Okay? It's easy for them to eat beans all day long. For other people it's not. Okay? Um Certain foods have been used to fight hunger in certain areas. The potato in Ireland. That's a great example. So as you can see, when they say they're gonna stop hunger, how? Like what exactly does that mean? Because does that mean everyone's gonna get rice? Like it doesn't matter where you live, all you're gonna get is like a cup of rice. Like, or they're gonna fill you up with rice is what they're saying. You're gonna get nothing but rice. Right? Now, if you could see this, you could see why like they invented Monsanto and all that. And if you go back to poverty, you could see why they have digital currency coming out now to desensitize people to a monetary system that has no value. It has no value at all. All right. So hunger, huh? They want to stop hunger. Again, you something to think about, and critical thinking. What does that mean? What are we gonna eat? What are they gonna saying that? How are they gonna? Are we all gonna eat? Some type of imitation meat? Oh, that's right. They are coming up with that. All right. So let's move back. Zero hunger. Good health and well-being. All right. Does that mean? Universal health care for everyone? Everywhere. And here's what people say. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a statist, I'm a statist. I'm a socialist in a socialist country, and our country, like Canada, for instance. Our country, we get universal health care. We get to, you're proud of that. Like, are you dumb? Here in America, in a free healthcare system, you get to pick and choose the doctor you want. You get to decide after the doctor tells you what their opinion. You could go to another doctor and another doctor, get different opinions, and then decide which one you want. It's not like that with the socialism, all right? Furthermore, is the payment thing. You're like, no, yeah, like it's free healthcare. It's not free. Doctors and nurses and hospitals do not work for free. They get paid. They get money to give. They get paid. Okay, it's not for free. You guys are lying when you say that. It's not free. Other people, it's the same. Look at this. Look at it in this perspective. If in America, you get to choose the doctor that you want, right? Okay, you get to choose the doctor that you want. And you are responsible for that own choice that you have made. In a socialist system where everyone's paid by they're like, oh no, yeah, it's free, but it's not free because they're still paid by the taxes. So in America, you pay taxes and all this other stuff, and then you get to choose your own health decisions. You get to choose that. In a socialist country, you pay taxes, and they tell you, they decide what your health is going to be. Okay, so if you're going to talk about like universal health care like everywhere, all right, the doctors and nurses and hospitals all have to get paid by somewhere, by somehow. Okay, it is not free. Healthcare is never free, ever. Never has been, never will be. The concept of a healer goes far back into ancient times. Witch doctors, there's different, there's so many different words for them. Shaman, curanderos. I mean, this goes all the way. This goes far back. You could look that up. Healthcare has never been for free. Okay? So when they say they're good health and well-being, like how do they reach that goal? In what way? Who gets paid to do that? Where does the money come from? All right? These are these simple questions. You got to this all sounds good when you look at it at first glance, like, oh yeah, clean water, gender equality. Oh yeah, it sounds okay. Okay? Quality, but when you break it down, it just doesn't make sense. Like quality education. Education or indoctrination, with it's up to the person the beholder gets to decide, should be able to get to decide what they fill their head with. If do they intentionally want to fill their head up with indoctrination, or do they want to educate themselves? Those are two different things. Okay? And what exactly do they mean by education? On whose standards are we going by? The World Core Curriculum? Because that's full of crap, and we all know that. Critical race theory? There's so much so many more questions come from this. It sounds good, quality education for everyone, but somehow explain that to everyone. Like, explain that to me, so I can understand what the hell you mean by quality education. What's your degree of quality? Exactly like they just showed on the last one. What's the degree of quality of that education? What's the, it just, none of that makes, like I said, all of this comes because there's not enough air, there's not enough space, there's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough shelter, there's not enough land, on and on. It's all because of a geopolitical belief that everyone believes, that they're on a globe. Okay? It's inside your mind that you're on a globe, and then they push this big agenda, this new world order into your face. And a lot of people do not have the critical thinking skills to question all this. All right? Now here's the thing. This is where I'm gonna lead towards the ending of this. If you add all this up, especially the first three, no poverty, zero hunger, it would be so much easier to reach these goals, specifically the first three, if there's less humans in existence, or specifically less humans that would resist this agenda. Because my family, we believe that we should have a bunch of children. Family should be strong, large and strong. Beautiful, large, big family. Okay? Now, that's not something I'm willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up that. I'm not willing to give up a large, strong family that fights and struggles together and is always there for each other. All right? I don't feel the need that I should be isolated from my loved ones. That just doesn't make sense. And I don't feel that my loved ones should not have that in the future, of they themselves having loved ones as well, a large family. My grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-great-grandchildren shall flourish. None of this crap is going to stop me or my bloodline from flourishing. Okay? I have no reason to stop my bloodline from flourishing while these bankers take all the space for themselves, take all the wealth for themselves. All right? If you guys think that Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and all those billionaires and big tech leaders and big pharma and big agriculture or big ag, if you think they're all willing to give up all of these rights, all of these things, and live next to you, you're wrong. You think the royal family is going to be living like you? Talking about no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being? Or are you going to be their body parts? Are you going to be their slaves? Think about this. This agenda is an attack on freedom of speech, an attack on humanity. Okay? It's totally an attack on everything that you could think of. All right? Everything you could this whole gender equality movement that they have going on is to stop is a depopulation tactic. All right? When you try to get everyone to go non-binary, there's no addition anymore. It's basic math. If you take away that cross on the upside down cross and that arrow, you're left with nothing but a zero. Nothing will be there. It's funny how they put a child next to that gender equality thing, because you can't have children like that. Okay, decent work and economic growth. Okay, so we went over this. It not only does it not make sense, but here, okay, are you guys ready? Here we go. Homelessness on the rise. It's everywhere. We'll use their word. Data shows that homelessness has been steadily rising over the last decade. There were 402,000 people. What the hell is that? Global song. Homelessness, our world in data. Yet another emerging global crisis, homelessness. About Us, Institute of Global Homelessness. So, if homelessness is on the rise, in both 20 and 2021, the global pandemic and its economic effects have increased hunger and malnutrition around the world. Okay, so now hunger's on the rise. The decline in income has translated into a sharp increase in global poverty. Okay, so poverty's on the rise. If poverty's on the rise, okay, SDG list. We'll go back to that list. Let's go over the list again. The hell? Okay, the division's capacity development activities advance the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the SAMOA pathway, and other internationally agreed development goals guided by the outcomes of United Nations intergovernmental bodies on the three pillars of sustainable development: social, economic, and environmental. Did you guys get that? All right. The division's capacity development activities advance the implementation. They are doing things to implement the list. We just went over the rise in poverty, the rise in hunger, the rise in starvation. All right, they're not helping us at all. Look around you guys. All right. Look around you guys. That globe is doing that to you and to everyone and to all of us. That belief in that globe that you have, okay? That belief in that globe that you have is causing all of this. Do you guys comprehend this? That belief in that globe is what's attacking humanity. Your stupid belief. Do you even science, bro?